Hello friends, welcome to my channel. You're at SpiceyCatColors with Kathy and Frankie. Seriously, how does he know? So I'll just talk for a minute while you look at Frankie's bulk here. So I am here to do kind of a two-for video. I'm going to do the Color Your Season spring version tag video, which is created by my friends Megan, Disney Megs Coloring on YouTube, and Amanda Colors on YouTube. And I was tagged by my friend Michaela Renee. So I'm excited to do this, and while I answer the questions, I will be coloring a well, once we get Frankie out of the way, in 100 Beautiful Mandalas by Camellia Angel Kova, which is a buddy color page that I need to get done for this month. And I originally was going to maybe try to do a color palette, and I'm just not inspired. So we're going to do a random draw, and I figured I would also show you how I do my random draws. So that's what this video is all about. Some chit chat about spring, coloring a buddy color, but first I must pet Frankie. So it'll be, you know, the snap of a finger for you, but this could be like a half hour for me. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Some brushing, some toy playing, 20 minutes. So let's look at, this is the page I'm going to color while I do the tag. And for my random, there's a couple different ways people can do randoms. I have this bucket of Sharpies, Bics, various colors. So what I do, I also do this with my Towetree. So basically I'm going to shut my eyes and I'm going to pull out 8 markers. So I'm going to well, it's going to be noisy, so I can't mute at the moment, but I am shutting my eyes, and I'll try not to dig too much, but if I go from that end, 3, 4, 5, oops, 6, 7, 8, okay, ew. Well, not maybe you, but so it looks like I got a lot of pinks. I got a yellow, a gray, a black, a blue, and a brown. So the reason I do 8 is because I let myself take some out if I want to. And that's what I will do. And then I may not use these exact markers. So now I may go into my my alcohol markers, my Towetree, whatever else I want to use. I just use this to get the colors. So I'm going to pause you while I pull out what I'm going to use. Okay, so again, just chit-chatty here. I took my original markers and did a test. I got rid of the brown and one of the pinky purples, and then I switched this gray for this black metallic. I thought would be cool. I did keep the black, and then the yellow I use a gold or a yellow, and I grabbed a pink glitter marker just because. So these are my colors, and I'm going to kind of set them off to the side. When I start with mandalas, I usually start from the middle and go up, but we are doing the spring Color Your Season tag. So I'm not going to tag anyone just because I honestly have only been able to watch a few of these. I don't know who else has done it, who wants to do it, but as always, if you make videos and you want to do the tag, do it. Just include the lovely Megan and Amanda in your video to give them credit for coming up. So the concept behind this I did the fall one. However, I wanted to do the winter one. I don't think I did. And it's the same questions that are then applied to whatever season you are coloring in. So wherever you are in the world, you can participate and just share your season. So I think that is a fun way to incorporate all of us, because we sometimes forget, you know what? We do live in different areas, and where it may be one season here, where you live, it could be completely opposite, which is exactly how this happened, because Megan lives in the States and Amanda lives in Australia, so they are opposites. Yes, I had to make sure I'd put a blotter down because I have been known to forget that. So that's the behind the scenes of the coloring tag. And let's start answering the questions, and I will color, I guess, as long as the questions take me. May not finish this, but we shall see. So, first question is, there's 10 questions. What is your favorite thing to color in the spring? I absolutely love coloring rainbows and using well, that'll be another question, but I like doing them all year, but in the spring it seems, because you can have rainbows all summer whenever it rains. So where I live in Minnesota, we definitely could get them all year long. We have actually had rain still when it is winter, but for the most part it's snow. So rainbows, I love coloring rainbows. And that leads to the second question, which is your favorite colors to use on a spring page. And that would be a rainbow palette. So in particular, probably more than coloring actual rainbows, I really enjoy using a rainbow palette on a page. And I tend to do that mostly in the spring season because I don't know why. To me, maybe it ties into St. Patrick's Day and, you know, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I honestly don't know, but I love using a rainbow color palette. Or alternately, also in the spring season, I find myself using pastels a lot more, such as the Oahu pastel set. I really enjoy doing that, just using those colors on a page. So kind of a 2-for answer. I am terrible about just coming up with one thing and sticking to it. So you get bonuses from me. Or maybe they're not bonuses, but you know, if I had to choose one, I would pick the rainbow palette. Number 3, what is your favorite scent for spring? So if you're a seasoned friend, you know I'm always runny nose snotty due to allergies. So my favorite spring scent, while I do like flowers, I would say it's actually, I don't know what to say other than fresh air, because it's the time of year where I will open the windows in the house. And again, living in Minnesota, it's not so much fresh air as probably moldy leaves and the like, and which will also aggravate my allergies. But just having to have the windows closed all winter, it's like my favorite thing to do as soon as the weather's warm enough. And to be honest, it's still high of maybe 35, and it's been getting down to about 10 degrees Fahrenheit here. And I have my bedroom window open, a crack, because I love to sleep with the window open, with fresh air, And even if it's cold, then I just snuggle under the blankets. That's kind of my thing. So fresh air is my preferred spring scent. I'm sure it's a candle in somebody's arsenal, Yankee or Bath and Body Works. I'm sure they have something called fresh air. What is my favorite spring decor? So I don't really decorate my home. I've talked about this in previous tag videos. Don't decorate my home for seasonal or holidays. When I have a job where I have a dedicated, like it's my very own desk. I currently work at a job where we share. It's a shift type job, so somebody's always there. And when I have my own desk, I do decorate my work desk. And I would have, I know I have, like St. Patrick's Day and Easter, which would be the two, I guess, kind of spring. I guess technically St. Patrick's Day is still winter since it's the 17th and spring starts May 21st. But to me, I consider it a spring holiday. So yeah, I have a couple various little tchotchkes and decor that I would set up for those holidays. And I would, well, Easter depends when it falls, but I'd probably leave it out past the actual day, because then there's not much other than, I suppose, spring flowers I could put up before the rest of the season till summer. But those are my choices that I would decorate when I have, again, a office. Wondering if I'm going to use a lot of white on this. I just kind of rotate through my colors. Do I want to do this whole... I'm debating if I do this section in color or if I should color this section in and leave this one white. I think I'm going to leave that white and go back in here. Okay. Yes, I have to talk to myself. It's a process. I could just leave it in at the end, go in and fill in color if I wanted to, but I've actually, sorry, you're going to get just some chit chat that's nothing to do with the tag. I rarely leave white when I do mandalas, and I've just, I don't know, recently, or even I guess last year when Tammy Colors 2 and I did that floating mandala book, I started trying to leave white spaces, and I enjoyed doing that. So I'm learning to leave a little white. It is a color. I don't have to color every single thing. I'm using these Mondo Llama glitter markers, which are kind of a fat nib. So, and yes, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to jostle the table because the camera will bounce. But again, I can only do what I can do with what I have, and I don't have the best. Should I zoom in a little closer if you want to see what I'm doing? Okay, what is number 5 question? Favorite spring food? Now, I know Michaela's, and I think I had, who's, oh, had I watched? I did watch Megan's, but I haven't watched anybody else's video. It was kind of like, spring, does that have a food? Well, yes. I think everyone's forgotten, and maybe somebody has already answered this, but Girl Scout cookies. That is my favorite spring food. I'm not sure what it is, I think in the States, or is it that they're always sold in the spring? And I don't know about other countries if you have the lovely Girl Scout cookies. But yeah, that would be my favorite when it comes to spring food. Now, there are a bunch of new flavors that come out every year. I was a Girl Scout and sold the cookies. I was never a high seller, Back when I did it though, we had to like go and take orders and then deliver, and I think the way they do it now, they actually have the parents, because it's not like most of the girls have the money, like pre-purchase all their cookies and then they have to sell them, which yikes, that's like a big investment, and then hope you sell them all. But overall, definitely my favorite Girl Scout cookie are the Samoas, which are the caramel coconut ones. And yes, they are a true treat. And I will admit, I have found some dupes that are very much spot on and a lot cheaper. Because I think it's currently, is it $5 a box for Girl Scout cookies? And now I've turned into that person like my mom, where it's like, I'd rather just give the whoever is selling whatever fundraiser, give them the money than have to buy whatever, because you know so much of the money is going back. It's not ending up at the exact pocket of the group selling it. So it's like, I'd rather just give you $5 that you can put in your troops' coffers and do something with, because who knows if you're even getting $1. I don't know what they make, but I think this will be fine. Oh, bleeding. Sharpies usually don't bleed quite as much as alcohol markers, but they are still a type of alcohol marker, so I need to be more careful. Also, since we're talking Girl Scout cookies, another one, well, they're all just good, but I always would get the Samoas, and then the trefoils, I don't know how you pronounce it, the shortbread ones. I love a good shortbread cookie, and those are definitely good. Thin mints, yep, Thin Mints were the best, because I will put them in the freezer, and providing nobody else in the house finds them, I can make them last for a while, because they definitely freeze well, and then they're just tasty frozen. Yeah, tag-alongs are okay, not a necessary have to buy. There was a lemon one recently, or maybe it's been around forever, but I liked that one. Anyway, I'll try them all. I don't think there's a Girl Scout cookie I wouldn't eat. I should say, or even any cookie. But yes, favorite food for my spring season are Girl Scout cookies. Number 6 question is, what is a favorite spring activity? So I kind of already alluded to this, but my favorite spring activity, opening the flipping windows, and what I call toe opener season, when I can start wearing flip-flops outside. I wear them inside the house all the time, and I even have a pair at work that I like take my snow boots off and put on while I'm in the office. But it's officially spring when I can open my windows and I can just wear flip-flops out the door. So I'm currently kind of at that, but today I left and I'm like, holy crap, it's like 10 degrees this morning. So my toes were cold. And then we also are in the thaw/freeze season. Spring in Minnesota technically is basically winter the sequel, or winter version 2, because we will very likely have snow on the ground until May, and we have also actually had snowfall in May, so our spring is actually pretty short-lived. We might get a month of spring weather. Excuse my sniffle, but it is what it is. Okay, so yes, favorite spring activity, opening the windows and flip-flops are my thing. Number 7, coloring book that you feel best embodies spring. So, I mean, there's a lot. You guys know, season friends, I'm a big Camellia Angel Cova fan. I thought I had it pulled out, but maybe I hit it. Oh, nope, here it is. It's going to show one of my favorites that I will color any time of year, seasonal, but this is the 50 Easter miniatures. I think that's a very good spring one. It does have a lot of Easter because it's called Easter miniatures, but there are also, you know, some that are more generic, just flowery. And she also has the 50 spring miniatures and the springtime mandalas. Josh Dunbar Easy Spring, I recently just picked that up. So there's that one. Yeah, there's a lot out there. I know, I think just about every coloring book company has a seasonal coloring. So, but my favorites are definitely the Camellia Angel Cova books. Okay, let me finish this one. Number 8. Do I have any spring traditions? As an adult, I don't think I really have any. As a kid, though, it was our tradition for Easter. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm dating myself, but do you guys remember we used to get, or as a kid, you would get your mom a corsage for Easter Sunday, and also for Easter Sunday, Mother's Day, and you could like get them at, I don't know if we had the Walmart, whatever the store was, they'd sell them, just like these little corsages, usually a lily, I think, in these little plastic boxes. You didn't have to go to the flower store or flower shop. And I always loved to get my mom one. In fact, I think I have a picture I will try to insert of the two of us on an Easter Sunday, and she's wearing a corsage. And if I recall, I am holding a little Easter bunny that actually, stuffed toy, but it had, I think, real rabbit fur. So again, at that age, I wasn't thinking, oh, a rabbit had to die for that to happen. So please don't come for me. But I just loved it because it was so soft. And I loved like getting dressed up in my Easter dress. And then of course, because I grew up where it was even colder in North Dakota, you would put on your parka and snow boots. So we definitely didn't have outdoor Easter egg hunts, but I'll talk about that later, I guess. So yeah, one of the traditions, I guess, is getting that corsage for my mom. And then, or spring traditions, not Easter. Oh, these colors actually are looking okay. Need to add some more blue though. Where to do the blue? Do we do it there? No, let's do it here. I think that will, well, it's like when the page is done, it kind of all looks okay. I always figure when you're doing a mandala, as long as you just keep alternating the colors, and I tend to just rotate. I kind of keep them to the side here in the order I'm coloring them in, so they space out. But depending on the element, like this is getting very pink color heavy, so I'm going in with some more of this very beautiful blue, which I just was the actual color I picked. I just found the fine point instead of the ultra found. It's the misty blue from Bic. So, okay. Number 9. Do you go on any spring vacations? No, I don't. Growing up, my mom was a school teacher, so she didn't take time off for vacations. I mean, summer was her time off. And back then, like high school and elementary school didn't have like a week-long spring vacation. You had like Easter weekend, you might have Friday and Monday off, and that would still depend on how many snow days you had to use, because otherwise they'd be makeup days. In college, was it my second year? Was it my first year? Could have been my first year. I went to Florida with my roommate at the time. She had friends that lived down there, and one of them worked at Disney World, so we claimed to be cousins, so we got it basically a free day pass, and it was a lot of fun. We spent a day at the beach. It was, I don't know, it was okay. She was older than me, and I wasn't 21 yet, so it wasn't a partier, so I just enjoyed being a tourist. But otherwise, other than that one spring break from college, I never took a vacation. I would be the one to stay and work the whole time, because I could get like a solid week of hours in because I didn't have classes. So that was me. I would be the one that would always stay and work, because I don't know, it's just always kind of been my thing. Let the other people go have the fun. Oh, I can zoom out a little bit more again. Yeah. Hopefully you are coloring right now and not just watching me color, or you're doing something, because again, I know it's bouncy. So yeah, spring vacations, nope, not really. Number 10, do you have a favorite spring memory? So I have several. Again, all from being a kid. As I mentioned, on Easter, it would always be snowing. Or if it wasn't snowing, it hadn't started melting yet. So we always had snow outside. We never did any outside activities. But my mom still made it fun, and the Easter Bunny would hide our Easter baskets somewhere in the house, which you only have so many spaces. It's like, you always knew somebody's was in the bathtub, because then the shower curtain would be closed. It wasn't normally closed. Inside the oven or the dishwasher was always fun. But the things that she did, Easter Bunny, whatever, that I thought was so fun, because we couldn't do Easter egg hunt. She would take Easter candy, usually jelly beans and like the malted milk ball eggs, and they would be all over the house in random spots. You'd open the silverware drawer and there'd be like a handful of candy in there. Inside the microwave, on the windowsill, all over the place. And usually she learned to make it pretty obvious, because otherwise you would find, a month later, some crusty jelly beans, or the dog would find it. But I just always thought that was so fun. And it was, there were 3 of us for kids in the house. So we would all just gather it, and it all went in like a family community candy dish. So it wasn't like, if only one person found it all, they got it. It just went in like the family candy dish. And I'm sure it was more fun for me than my siblings, because they were older. So I would usually be the one to find it all. And then whatever you had in your Easter basket, that was yours. You didn't have to share. So that was a fun memory. I always still think of. And I did that. I remember once I was living on my own in college and with roommates, I would do the same thing for them. It's like, I wouldn't tell them, but I'd like wait till they were in bed, and then I'd run around the apartment and hide, or not even really hide it, just leave little piles of candy in random spots. So I thought that was really fun. What are some other fun traditions? My mom, you guys probably will someday be tired of hearing me talk about her, but she was just very fun and creative and very much a kid at heart. And St. Patrick's Day. So my mom's side of the family is Irish. I don't know how many generations back we're actually in Ireland, but that side of the family did come from Ireland. Excuse me, I have a cat hair tied to my, courtesy of Frankie. The end of my marker is driving me nuts. So she would make even St. Patrick's Day fun. And you would wake up and get your cereal and pour the milk, and it would be green. She would have put food coloring in the milk. And she did the same thing for like if she made scrambled eggs, she would add food coloring, so you'd have green eggs. And mashed potatoes was something. So she would do, you know, what she could. And as a kindergarten teacher, she would do for her class, and I can't remember if I've shared this before, so, but if you're a new friend, you haven't heard all my stories. So for her kindergarten class, she would, when they were like at gym or music or library, when the kids were out of the classroom, she would basically ransack her classroom and leave a note from a leprechaun that he had been naughty and that he had hid his pot of gold for them to find. And she like took flour probably, and she like made little footprints and like turned chairs upside down and just, you know, made it look like someone had been in there. I guess I'd compare it to like an Elf on the Shelf type thing. And then she had this bean pot, this stoneware baked bean pot that looked like it could have been leprechauns. It was brown instead of black, but she would have that filled with, I think usually Rolos, because they were individually wrapped candies and, you know, looked like a pot of gold. So that was fun. And then she'd also, for snack that day, she would make, and I would help her do this at home, we'd make a big batch of vanilla pudding and portion it all out in like small Dixie cups. Again, this is back in the day before you had to worry and have everything, you know, store-bought and sealed, and you couldn't bring homemade treats to school. But and before you'd fill the cup with the pudding, we'd add a drop of green food coloring. So then she'd bring the treat out for the kids, and they're like all excited because pudding, it's a good snack. And then she'd like pull out this note that she'd find on her desk that again was from the leprechaun that said he had made them this special treat for the day. And it's, you know, got a little bit of leprechaun magic in it. And if they stir their cup, they'll get a surprise. So all the kids would take their spoon and stir the pudding, and it would turn green. And the kids thought it was real leprechaun magic, because when you're 5, it seems like that. And even today, me, at my age, it still would make me smile and have fun. So that's a good memory. Oh, so then I'd also have my birthday's in the spring. So my birthday is April 1st. Maybe this will be posting then or before then. I don't know. But so my birthday was always in the spring. And for me, my birthday was, my mom always made it very special for me. And one of my favorite memories after I was grown, and just do all of these. Sometimes I get so caught up in doing like each little element a different color, and it's like, no, just make them the same. It's faster. So, and the thing that I miss is she would call me on my birth minute, wherever she was at, wherever I was at. She would call and I'd answer the phone and she'd be singing happy birthday to me. So that was a treasured memory that I miss a lot. And she just always made me feel special on my birthday. And I'm not huge. I don't really like to be the center of attention or anything like that. But I do like to be made to feel special. And since she's been gone, that just doesn't really happen. But it's nice to look back at the memories. One of the other things I always loved about my birthday is I almost always had the same cake. Depending. If I had like a sleepover birthday party, it might vary, because sometimes we would have cake decorating contests where my mom had like made cake and then we got to decorate it out however we wanted, or we just decorated the cake. But often we would still do this same cake, which was, I'm sure it was in a Betty Crocker cookbook. I wonder if I still have that cookbook from her where it had all these different basic cake designs, like using round cakes and cutting them apart. And it is using 2 8-inch rounds, and you cut it and make it look like a rabbit, Easter rabbit, with a bow tie. And that was like the cake for the majority of my birthdays. And again, I'm sure I have a picture I can show you. And yeah, if my friends were over, they'd help. We'd get to help decorate it. And yeah, that's another fun memory. And that might be all. I don't think I have any other memories to share. And that is actually the end of the questions. So I did not get to finish this, but I will finish it off camera and it will be posted. Hopefully this video will post before the end of the month too, but this is a buddy color for March, so I need to finish it and then I will post it on Instagram. So yeah, there you go. Those are my answers for the Color Your Season Spring tag, again created by Amanda Colors and Disney Makes Coloring. Thank you, ladies, for coming up with this fun tag. Thank you, my dear friend Michaela, for thinking of me and tagging me. I enjoyed watching your video. And again, I will just leave this open if anybody wants to do the video. Consider yourself tagged. Or if you don't do videos, I would love to hear in the comments, if you want to, maybe tell me one of your fun, if you have any spring memories or just general thoughts, if there's anything. Or I think the hardest question everyone's had is a spring food. So if you actually have a spring food besides Girl Scout cookies, let me know what that would be. My mom, I don't think she liked corned beef, because even though we were Irish, we never had corned beef and cabbage. She liked cabbage, but yeah, that wasn't a traditional meal for us ever. Which again, I just think it's so funny that, you know, when you're an adult, it's like, oh, obviously my mom didn't like that because she never made it. So, okay, friends, I'm going to finish this one and then I will tell you goodbye. thank you for stopping by and seeing me. I hope you are all doing well and that your spring or whatever season you are in is going fabulously. In case nobody has told you lately, you matter. You're beautiful. I consider whenever I do these random color palettes, it just makes me think of all of my friends out here, how we have been brought together and we're so random, and each color kind of just represents somebody else, and that when we're all put together, we're just this beautiful, beautiful, colorful group. So thank you for adding color to my life and being someone that makes a difference in my life. Thank you, my friends. I love you.